All right, let's kick this thing off. All right, here you guys go. Welcome to the Monday Mojo, hosted by Elite Marketing Pro. My name is Chef Katrina. I am the Director of Client Experience for this amazing company. I'm also a speaker, mentor, and a team building specialist. So I'm super excited to be hanging out with all of you. Some of you guys are from our Elite Marketing Pro community. For some of you, this is your first time catching up with us. And, in preparation for tonight, I kind of had to do some research, and I was asking our guest tonight, Tyson, what is some of the biggest struggles? What are some of the biggest pain points that, our community, some of his teammates, what are they dealing with over and over again? And these are like horrible things to have in place, especially if you're building a business anywhere. So, Tyson says there's one sentence that really will affect and could potentially be the cure for curing overwhelm. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we found a cure for this state of overwhelm. Because it is something that really does affect all of us at some point in our business, Tyson. We absolutely get affected by this. And so for those that don't know who Tyson is, he's our very special guest this evening. This guy is brilliant. I mean, seriously brilliant. I'm going to make his ego a little bit bigger tonight by saying that I have watched him grow in this community. I've seen him take on. He was one of the first that I've actually seen do multiple six figures inside of Elite Marketing Pro. Really just took what he learned and took off with it. And it was just amazing to watch his growth where he's at now. He's been building network marketing business. He's his own entrepreneur outside of this. He's got an amazing family. I mean, I don't know how you do it. You're a photographer. The list goes on and on. This guy is a genius, honestly. The words of wisdom that fall out of his mouth are truly awe-inspiring. I have yet to have anybody that sits down and talks with him not be amazed by what he shares. And his storytelling and his ability to connect with his audience is truly an amazing talent. So I'm super excited to have him join us this evening because it is an honor and a privilege. And I know how super busy you are. So the fact that you're taking time out with us today and spending time and really helping out this community and sharing what your experience has been and what's working for your team is truly an honor. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining us today,
Absolutely. Tyson. Boy, I think we could all go home after that. I think we're done. That was a good intro. I liked that. Yeah.
So for those that don't know you, Tyson, can you give a little bit of a background? I'm going to limit you to like 7 minutes. I know you can go on for 30, sure, but I'm going to try to condense.
Yeah, I think I can probably condense it less than that.
What? You've mastered this because last time it took at least 25 minutes.
Yeah, I was a public school teacher for 11 years. Taught music in the public school system, barely making $30,000 a year, but I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. Started my first business when I was 17, 18 years old. I actually still own that business today. It's just kind of it's a shaved ice business. So it's not like a, huge income, big scale type of company. It's just it's a fun thing, helped put me through college. So I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. I was always drawn to network marketing in particular, but struggled. I'm very comfortable in these types of environments, in the sit in front of my computer, in my pajamas or just in the comfort of my home and just talk like this. But doing like in social situations, I'm a little more awkward. I just like having one-on-one conversations with people, striking up conversations with people at the mall, just was not my cup of tea. And it's interesting because in fact, I had somebody on one of my Facebook ads today who said, oh, hey, I went over to your website. You don't seem like an introvert anymore, because my whole ad was about how I'm an introvert. And she's like, you're speaking on stage and like you do these videos. And I was like, there's a difference between being an introvert in social situations and being comfortable with building your business in a way that fits your personality like this, where I can sit in front of my computer and talk into a camera or just interact with people in a webinar type of environment, especially when I'm talking with people who resonate with my message, when I'm talking with people who actually want to hear what I have to talk about, then I get excited. But the minute I feel like I'm talking to somebody who is not interested, or like I'm pushing something on them, I all of a sudden get very self-conscious and I get really weird in that situation. And so for me, this was just a much better fit for my personality. So back in, I struggled with the original, traditional network marketing methods for years. I was in and out of companies 3 different times over a period of 18 years before I finally found what is now Elite Marketing Pro, and just kind of dove into what they had, dove it a lot with, what Tim Irway teaches, a lot of his training, and just started trying stuff, figuring it out. And within about 12 months after I really kind of started implementing and figuring it out, I had enrolled over 1,000 people into a network marketing company. Shortly after that, I was the #1 income earner inside of Elite Marketing Pro, which was a separate opportunity from what I was promoting with my network marketing company. And I think to date, I don't know, I've probably done over $500,000 in commissions with EMP since I've been with the company. Is it higher? I don't know what the number is, but my point, and what's really nice is I've been able to take what I've learned at EMP and I've been able to apply it to so many other things. I now have my own coaching and training business with my own products. And of course, I'm able to apply everything that I've learned there, not only to my own coaching and training, but also to promote that coaching and training business. I have a full-time photography studio that I've been able to use these exact same attraction strategies for attracting local business to me for that business. I even took a lot of what I learned from this industry with like running Facebook ads, and I said, now that I understand how to do Facebook ads with our shaved ice business, I said, I'm going to run a test for our opening weekend this year. And I ran a small test locally for our Facebook, on Facebook ads for our shaved ice business. And we were up, I think, 30% over that weekend. Now, 30% for a whole season is a big increase in sales, especially for a brick and mortar type of operation like that. And so what's nice is these skills, once you acquire these skills, they are skills that you can implement in any business to promote any product, and you really do have the ability to write your own check for the rest of your life. And there's nothing quite as fulfilling or as that gives you such a sense of security and peace as knowing that you have a skill set that you can fall back on to write your own check. So I don't know that I've ever told that version of my story before, but how's that? That's it.
I love it. No, because it's the entrepreneurial journey. And I think you hit on so many key points, because really it is what you've learned, what you've been up to, that really has built this business. And I love the fact that you kind of wrapped a little bow on it by saying, you've applied it to a brick and mortar business. I've done the same thing. I've helped many brick and mortar businesses use this because the strategy is so, it's timeless, right? The strategy is what works for every business.
Yeah. Yeah. And building relationships, knowing how to attract people to you, knowing how to put automation in place so that those relationships can be being built on autopilot, right? It's like if you just get out of your comfort zone and you create some content, you create some videos or blog posts that just get people to know who you are, you can have like a little army of yourself duplicated all over the internet, building relationships night and day while you're sleeping. I had a guy reach out to me today who said, hey, I've been watching your Facebook live videos. I do a thing called Gems from the Gym. When I'm leaving the fitness gym, I always get on and say, hey, I'm going to give you some business gems as I'm leaving the fitness gym. Welcome to Gems from the Gym. And it's my little, 5 minutes of business tips. And it literally takes me 5 to 10 minutes a day to do that. It's not a lot of time. And I just get on and kind of talk. And I had somebody today who reached out to me from one of those little videos, like a little soldier out there going and finding people. He reached out to me, said, hey, I've been watching your Facebook videos when you leave the gym, and I love them. You seem real down to earth, real no BS type of guy. I think I really resonate with your personality, and I'd love to know more about what you have to offer. And he ended up buying a product. So that skill set and that strategy, you can apply that to any type of business, which is really amazing.
Yeah. And I love that. So so let's go step back a little, because when you talk about building your business, when you talk about the technicalities, there's a sense that there's so much to learn online,
Yeah.
right? Like you get into business, then you're thinking, okay, now I've got to learn this, I got to learn this. And there it gets to a point where what we're going to be talking about, which is the state of overwhelm.
Yep.
Like it's almost like you're getting in too much information and you don't know how to process it or what order you should process. Or I get so many people that call me up and say, what's my first step?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do first?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, let's do that. And I want to make sure that this is actually going to be a relevant conversation for the people here. Yeah. Let me just ask, comment in the box and tell me, is there anybody out there who has ever felt either a sense of stress or confusion or overwhelm by the amount of information that you've been consuming, or confusion about, I don't really know where to start, or there seems like so many things I have to do. Where should I put my focus first? And perhaps you've even gotten to a point like some people where you're like, oh my God, it seems like so much, I just want to give up, right? I want to just throw in the towel and say, screw this. This is like more than I signed up for, forget it. I'm seeing yeses, blown over, absolutely, for sure, yeses. Kurt says no. Good, Kurt. You're in the rare few. Absolutely, right. That's me.
Like, I think.
What were you going to say, Katrina?
I said, we talked about, it's like drinking from the fire hose.
Yeah.
Like somebody's standing there, they put the fire hose in front of you, they turned it on, all of a sudden, like you're blast 20 feet back.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what to do now.
Well, listen, I will say this for the people who are saying, because there's just a few who are saying no. And I would bet that for the people who say no, it's because they already understand what I'm about to share with you guys tonight. And I truly believe there really is one sentence. Simple. I'm going to tell you two a little bit later. Open loop. Okay. Get that in your mind. I have a sentence that I'm going to share with you. It has two blanks. All you have to do is say the sentence and fill in two blanks. And I firmly believe that this one sentence, assuming that you take action on it, eliminates overwhelm. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what that is as we go along. But I'll dive in here in just a minute. Katrina, if you've got anything else you want to say while I take another drink.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be talking about this. Like I addressed earlier with the community, I said, sometimes I feel like this is an infectious disease, this state of overwhelm. And I just see it stop so many people, Tyson. Like it breaks my heart when people say, I'm just overwhelmed, I don't know what to do next. And it's like, deep breath. Yeah. And then, what we're about to discuss. So I'm just really excited you're addressing this and that we get to talk about it tonight.
I am too. And thank you, first of all, to those of you guys who commented. This is going to be a very interactive call. I'm going to be asking you guys questions. We're going to play a little game a little later on that I've got planned that I think you'll enjoy, that'll drive home one of my points. And honestly, I think the way you will get the most out of this is if you have a piece of paper and you are ready, because I can't show you my screen and show you some of, like, I have a worksheet like right here that can't quite see it.
See it. Nope.
Yeah, kind of hard to see. But I have some questions that if you write these things down, I firmly believe by the end of this call tonight, you are going to have a game plan. Depending on where you're at, whether you're brand new, I think you're going to have like a solid, like, here's what I should do in the next 2 weeks. You're going to have total clarity, and you're going to start having momentum in 2 weeks. You're going to start having momentum right away. But at the end of 2 weeks from today, if you do what I tell you to do, you take action on the things I tell you to write down, I firmly believe that if you have ever been unstuck or confused, we're about to get you in momentum, which is where you want to be. The state of standing still is really the hardest state to get out of. And once I can start pushing the ball a little bit, it's like that snowball. You get it going down the hill, and it's just going to start picking up more snow, and it's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. But the hardest thing is that object in motion or that object at rest wants to stay at rest. But once we get you into motion, boy, watch out. Okay. So I'm going to dive right in, Chef, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, everyone says they got pen and notepad ready, like big notebooks. They're ready to take some serious note taking right now.
All right, let's do it. So let me start by saying this. There is some overwhelm that is good, that is healthy. And it's important that you recognize where your overwhelm is coming from. If the overwhelm, if the sense of like, oh my God, I like so much information is just from the fact that you're learning a lot of new things, it is simply proof that you are growing and you're expanding and you're learning new things, which is good. That's where you need to get, right? In order to, accomplish any new thing, there are going to be certain skills that you have to acquire and certain things that you're going to have to know, of course. However, most people, from what I have seen, that's usually not the source of overwhelm. The source of overwhelm is typically three things. Get ready to write these three things down, okay? No plan, no focus, no activity. You put those three things together and you have the recipe for overwhelm. So if you do not have a plan of action in place for what you want to do, you have no direction, of course you're going to feel overwhelmed. Well, we're going to eliminate that tonight. We're going to give you a plan, right? So we're going to talk a little bit later on about what I call top level activities versus everything else. And we're going to make a column. We're going to make a T-chart. You're going to make a T-chart and you're going to make top level activities in one column. And you're going to say, okay, that's the stuff I need to focus on that's going to get me results. And everything else over here, it might be important to do at some point, but I'll do it when there's time. This is what gets the majority of my focus first, okay? So first thing we need to have is a plan. The second thing is no focus, right? We get people who they're trying to do 5 different things at one time. And, they're like, okay, I'm going to learn how to run Facebook ads and how to run YouTube ads. And I'm going to learn how to do this and that and a bazillion different things at one time. And they get so scattered that there's just zero focus. So once you get zeroed in, focusing on your plan, and of course, finally taking action, the activity part of it is what I see with most of my students is all learning, never doing, okay? And I am not preaching to you to say bad. Do you know why? Because I need to preach to myself. I'm guilty as charged. I'm preaching to the choir because I think all of us at some level are plagued by this. And I'll tell you why here in just a minute, why we get stuck in learning mode. But first, let me give you an analogy to help you understand why learning mode causes overwhelm. I want you to imagine what would happen if you ate a normal diet for multiple days in a row, but never went to the bathroom. What would happen? All right, Katrina's face, I think, sums it up, right? Not good, yes? I mean, how would you feel? You would be bowled over in pain if you were not able to release all of that you were putting into your body. Well, the same thing happens with our minds. You're cramming info. The only way to create understanding is to implement. And when you just keep cramming more and more information, saying, I'll take action once I understand everything, all that does is create overwhelm. A lot of people, what they want is, imagine a journey of 1,000 miles. They want every light to be green, and they want to be able to see 1,000 miles down the road. Okay, I know every light's green. Now I have the green light to go. You can't do that. You get one green light, you put your foot on the pedal, and you deal with the next light when you get there, right? And so I believe it was Confucius. Here's a great quote for you to say, for you to write down. It was Confucius, I believe, who said, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. So without the doing, the understanding never comes. Imagine if I said, like, I like to play golf. I'm terrible. I'm really, really bad. But I like to play. Imagine if I had said, whenever I first started to learn to play golf, okay, I'm going to buy every golf book I can possibly get my hands on, and I am not going to go out on the course and swing a club until I know I'm going to hit it straight the first time. What a ridiculous thought, right? That would never happen. If I went out to the only way I can get better at golf is by hitting the ball and shanking it, or having it slice, or hitting it in the creek and going, God, I hate this game, but keeping on going, right? Getting back up and just keeping on going, because it's that failure that allows me to learn. It's that stepping stone to my next success. And so this really is the true reason, I believe, why people get stuck in learning mode, because learning is safe. It's a safe environment. It's the same reason why, instead of calling prospects, I used to clean my office. Cleaning my office was safe activity. Tinkering around with my website and making a button change from green to orange, safe activity. Nobody's ever going to say, no, I don't want to be in your business, Tyson. No, that thing you're doing is stupid. No, you're an idiot. You should go back and get a real job. Nobody, I never have to face rejection if I stay stuck in learning and cleaning my office and doing safe activities. The minute I step outside of my comfort zone and I put myself out there and I create a Facebook Live, that's the chance that I might get a hater. I might get somebody harassing me and saying, what the hell, you don't know anything, you're an idiot, and putting ugly faces on my video, or having somebody come out and say, oh, that thing you're in's a pyramid scam or whatever, right? That's the real reason we stay in learning mode. We may say it's other things, but most people, it's the fear of failure. It is the fear that if I step out and actually do this, the minute I step on the golf course is the minute that I can hit a ball in the creek, right? So the minute you go out and you actually talk to somebody, pick up the phone, or you create a piece of content, that's the minute that you have a chance of failure. And that's one of our biggest fears as human beings. It's just human nature. We want other people to accept us, to like us. And at some point, you're simply just going to have to go past that and say, all right, now I understand why I've been stuck in learning mode, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to take action. So what do you take action on? Calm down. I'm going to tell you. But first, let me give you one more analogy, and then I'm going to give you the one simple sentence to cure overwhelm. Okay? So I want you to picture a really, really big house, like a mansion, really huge, okay? Tens of thousands of square feet, okay? Everybody got something in your mind? You got it? Envision it, okay? Now, I want you to imagine that somebody drew up plans, like a picture of this house, and they said, here's the house I envision that I want to build, and they brought it to you, and they said, this is the house I want, build it, go! What? I mean, imagine it's got 3 levels of floors. It's got all kinds of staircases. It's got spiral staircase. It's got a pool out back. It's got 3 different decks. It's got a pond in the front. It's got so many different things that have to be done. If you just said, here's this big job, go, that's going to create this massive sense of overwhelm. So how do you tackle that task? If you're going to build a house, it's interesting. We call it building a business, right? Building a house. We don't call it having a business one day. Hey, I woke up and I had a business and I was making $100,000 a year. Nobody ever says that, right?
No.
Because it doesn't exist. We say, I'm going to build a business just like I'm going to build a house. So let's take that analogy and let's think for just a minute. If I want to build a house, what are the things I have to do? Well, first of all, I have to have a plan. So we set out, okay, I'm going to create blueprints for the house. I'm going to have a floor plan. Then we're going to, this is a huge job. How in the world are we going to get it all done? Well, we chunk it down. We don't try and build we don't try and lay the foundation and the walls and the drywall and the floor and the staircase and stain and paint and everything in one day. That's ridiculous, yes? Instead, we say, okay, let's chunk this down into bite-sized jobs. How to eat an elephant. one bite at a time. Same thing with building a house or building a business. Let's chunk this down and let's say, what activity is the first thing that really has to be done before I can move on to the next one? Well, okay, we are going to break ground by X date. So you set, okay, breaking ground is the very first thing we're going to have to do after we've got the plans in place. Let's set a deadline for when that's going to get done. And then whatever people we got to call, whatever tools we got to get in place to get that done, we'll do it. Next, what's the next thing that has to be done? Well, we need to lay the foundation, right? We got to pour the concrete. Now, you're not going to be pouring concrete and putting up the framing for the walls at the same time. No, doesn't make any sense. You're going to be focusing on laying the foundation, laying the concrete. So you say, okay, what jobs need to be done? What's our deadline? When is this job going to get done? So we can now move on to the next step and the next step and the next step. And eventually you have a house. Yes. Same thing is true for our businesses. Yes. We need to pick a logical order of events that makes sense. There are certain things that either because they are the real revenue making activities or because they just need to be done before something else. I'll give an example. So let's say that you were going to, you want to generate leads through attraction marketing, which is probably why you're here. Yes. And so you have to ask yourself, what are the most important activities that will actually cause that to happen? Is going out and hiring a professional photographer and getting professional photos of myself, is that really a activity that will produce the results I want? Is that top level? Not really. I have to go buy professional lighting equipment before I can shoot videos. No, you don't. No, you don't. Look at me and Katrina right now. I've got like shiny spots on my face. She's like in the dark. Why are you here? Why is this helpful to you? It's because of the content that I'm providing has nothing to do with the quality of the equipment or the lighting on our faces. And yet we get bogged down with all of these other decisions saying, I can't take action yet. I can't go out and create a piece of video for Facebook because I don't have a professional camera. I don't have good lighting. Nonsense. I record every single one of my Facebook Lives in my car. I step outside of the gym. I sit in my car and I got sweat on my face, a ball cap on my head, a ratty old shirt. I'm sweaty and I do my Facebook Live right from there with a cell phone that has a camera on it and light coming in from the windshield of my car. Does having the right equipment, is that required for me to get leads? No, I get leads every day from those Facebook Live videos. So let's determine what are the activities that actually need to be done, what needs to be done first, and let's focus on those things. And then later on, hey, I want to upgrade to a nicer camera. Fine, do it later on. Later on, hey, I want to get some professional photography for my brand. Cool, do it later on. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that stuff. I'm just saying put it in priority with the stuff that's actually going to make you money and the stuff that is just going to keep you busy. Is that cool? Is this helpful? Is that good stuff? I'm going to take a drink. Well, and then we're going to move on. I'm going to give you the sentence here in just a second. Some of you might have figured it out already.
Yep, it's very helpful. I think you're hitting upon a lot of things. I also like when you're talking about building the foundation. Foundation takes time to cure also before you can build the next level. So there's kind of like there's a foundation. It takes some time to build it, and then it takes some time for it to cure and move. So before you can do the next thing. And I think that's the beauty of this. I love what you're doing, and this is all very helpful. I'm seeing so many comments. I'm seeing so many people that are engaging with this. So, and I think it's just connecting with them because we all do that. We all procrastinate. We all find different reasons and excuses not to do stuff. And thanks for calling me out on my dark lighting. It is. I can't help it. I'm down in a basement somewhere.
But nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Not a single one of you care.
Yeah, nobody really cares.
Nope.
So does anybody want to know this one simple sentence to cure
please.
overwhelm once and for all in your business?
I need 20 yeses before I'll even have them to say the sentence. So there needs to be 20 yeses. I got 3 so far.
Otherwise, we're just logging off and you will go to bed curious for the rest of your life. What 6. Was it?
Yeah, I'll at 7. Hold on. I'm only at 7. I'm counting till 20. 8.
Come on.
Oof, 9.
I'll even accept bring it. Somebody give me a bring it.
10. I don't know, 11. I'll take an idea. 12. Man, you guys are.
I do. Oh, Kurt
11.
wants to get married.
12.
I do.
I got 12.
Yes. Oh,
no,
Michael just gave us 4 of them. Does that count?
Nope. 13,
Nope.
14, 15, 16. You guys are making this painful for me. 17.
We're almost there.
18. Oh, it's 100 on your Karen's. I just want to make sure you guys are all awake. Really, honestly, we have a lot of you guys on here, and the best way to really make sure you're getting this is to engage, right? You let people know that you're engaging in here. And the really thing is like if you guys are sharing this information, if you guys are inviting your audience to see this, right? They want to see your name on here also. They want to see you comment. They want to see that what you're up to is what they should be up to, and they always will mimic what you do. So if you're on here and your team sees you commenting and engaging, they're going to say, yeah, that's awesome. I can do the same thing too. So you're actually granting permission for people. So saying yes and engaging is like really awesome. If you guys are sharing this, Hillary, our social media manager, says use the hashtag Monday Mojo, right? Like tell people you're on here, like hashtag Monday Mojo. Like, let them know that you're here, right? Because Tyson's about to drop a major bomb for you guys.
I'm ready.
Right? Yeah, Tom's like, he's hitting it out of the park. This is so what I needed today.
Good.
Marilyn's like, I need this also. Like, this is such a critical time to be hearing this. So I think we've hit our 20, Tyson. So I think at this time, I'm going to go ahead and say, drop it. All
right. Write this down, please. It's so simple. I will accomplish X by Y. The letter X and the letter Y. I will accomplish X, a variable, by BY, like by this date. Now, fill in X with the job you plan to accomplish and Y with the date you will accomplish it. I will have my target audience selected by May the 10th. I will have 3 content ideas ready to go by May the 11th. I will have a media channel selected for how I will distribute my content, selected and decided on by May the 13th. Whatever, pick your date. I will have my first piece of content on Facebook by fill in the date. Now, what you're setting is a schedule for yourself. Now, is it okay? Let me ask this question. What you're setting are targets, okay? Mm-hmm. Is it okay to miss the target? Yeah. Missing the target is okay, but how in the world are you ever going to hit it if you don't have one? You can't hit a target that you haven't set. You don't know where you're aiming. So set these targets. Now, I'm going to give you a list of words, and there's a record. I don't have like a download or anything for them, Chef, but I assume that they can come back and like fast forward and rewind a replay of this later on. Is that right? Yep. Okay, so if I go too quickly with the questions, I've got a whole list of questions. I actually already just gave you a couple of them. Like I will have a target audience selected by X date. I will have 5 pieces of content or 5 content ideas by X date. I will give you all of those questions that I recommend you focus on because they all hit on the top line or top level activities that we're going to get to here in just a minute. And what this is going to give you is 100% clarity on what should I really be focusing on. Because when you sit down at your desk to say, okay, I'm going to get some work done now, like, because I know I was guilty of just sitting down at my desk and I'm like, what should I do today? I've got 2 hours. What should I work on? I don't really know. So I think I'll scroll through Facebook. Oh, there's a funny picture of a cat. Oh man, I love it. And next thing I know, I didn't get any work done. But when you sit down with this piece of paper and you have direction and you have goals and deadlines by when you're going to reach those goals, all the overwhelm goes away because now you know what to do and you know by when you're going to do it. So you have focus and you have direction and you're actually putting the activities in place to make it happen. Is that good? Is that good stuff?
I like it. I like it. It's good stuff.
So
I want to ask, has everybody got that? Is that making sense? Like, is that valuable for you guys? There's one yes. Okay, good. We got 2 yeses. I'm starting to make sure you guys are all awake still here.
Okay. So what we're going to do now that you have your sentence, I will accomplish X by Y. Now, I would recommend you grab a completely blank piece of paper, all right? And if you can, start over fresh and just draw a big T chart, okay? Turn it sideways like this, okay? And let's just draw a big T chart. Line here, line here. And on one side, over here, I want you to write top level. And on the other side, I want you to write everything else, okay? Top level on one side of the T chart, everything else on the other. Okay. Yes, that is a teacher for sure. You can tell I was a teacher for 11 years. Okay. Okay. Now, guys, this activity will not benefit you unless you actually do it, right? So don't be one of those people. Here's what's really interesting. It'll be the people who don't do the activity that 2 weeks from now will still be complaining that they haven't gotten results in their business and that they're still overwhelmed, right? So that's the thing about like being a home business entrepreneur. You don't have, like when I was a teacher, I could literally stop the class and say, okay, guys, we got 15 minutes right now. Everybody's going to get to work. And I could walk around the classroom and make sure that everybody was doing the work. Well, we're all responsible adults here. And we have home businesses. Nobody can force you to do the work, but I can tell you it's the people that do this work right now, that do this T chart, that write down the things I'm about to tell you, that we will see these people, we will see their names in lights. We will see these people on stage at No Excuses in the next couple of years. These are the people that we will see making things happen. I guarantee it. Okay, somebody said show it again. So all you're going to do, you're just going to turn your paper sideways like this. Just get a blank piece of paper, and you're just going to draw 2 lines, just a T chart. Draw a line here, all the way across here, and then draw a line going down like this. Across, down. Half and half. And then on one side, over on one side, you write top level activities. These are the most important things that will actually produce revenue in my business. And then on the other side, you just write everything else. Okay. And if at some point you want to prioritize the everything else list, fine, do that later. Okay. You can put everything else in its own prioritized list. But all we want to do right now is get top level and then put everything else over on the other side. Now, I'm going to tell you what I personally believe, in my honest opinion, are top level activities. And here comes my humility. This is my opinion, but it is accurate and it is correct, and you may not argue with it. So write down what I say. Okay? All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be like that. I was just. All right. So, but I am accurate in this. So, and I know because I know what activities kept me spinning my wheels, what activities didn't produce money. And I've done, I don't know what my exact number is, but Katrina said it's over $500,000 in EMP commissions alone. And that doesn't even count the other, other network marketing commissions, my money I've made in my own business. So, I've made well over $1 million online. I think I know what activities are going to produce the actual results you want. Okay.
I'm going to agree. And I'm going to say, yes, listen to, I think you're on that side of me. You're over there. Listen to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Very important.
So, number one, you have to have a good product or an opportunity to promote. Without that, you don't have a business, right? Now, the good news is most of you probably already have that. Yes. You're either in Elite Marketing Pro because you have a network marketing company that you're promoting and you're using the training here at EMP to promote that company. You've got maybe your own products, or maybe you're promoting EMP stuff. Doesn't matter what you're promoting, as long as you got a product that you believe in, that genuinely helps people, that you're passionate about, great. Okay, you've got that one down. Most of you can probably check mark that one off, and we don't have to worry about that. Now, the next one, top level activity. So the first one was having a good product or opportunity to promote. Number two, selecting and understanding your target audience. I'm going to say it again. I'll give you a moment to write it down. Item number two is selecting and understanding your target audience. So I don't have time to go into all of the specifics of how to select a target audience. That's really not what tonight's training is about. You can get that training inside of EMP for sure. But I want to make sure that you understand, you want to make sure that you know who are these people that I am putting my message in front of, and do I have a deep understanding what you are striving for when selecting and understanding a target audience is, I would argue that you need to have what I would consider an expert level of knowledge about that audience. That means you know what kind of language they use, you know what kind of problems they have, you know where they hang out, you know what forums they visit, what websites they visit, what gurus they follow, what books they read, what magazines they subscribe to. You know all of this information about your target audience. And this will get to, in fact, I think I have on my list of sentences that I'm going to give you later. One of your sentences will be something to the effect of, I will spend at least 15 minutes a day studying my target audience or researching my target audience, whether that means reading a book that I know that they read, or going to a forum and just kind of scrolling around in one of their forums, or reading one of the same blog posts that I know that they read. Because here's the thing, and now some of you may not need to do that. Or I should say, some of you may not need to do it as much. And I'll tell you why I say that. I have been a professional photographer for, I think, 10 years now. If you said, Tyson, I want you to go market to other professional photographers. As of right now, I don't do that. Maybe I'll do it at some point in the future. I probably wouldn't have to do a lot of research on a daily basis because I've already been immersed in that audience for the last 10 years. I have been one of them. I know their pains. I know their struggles. I know the kind of language that they use. I know what they're frustrated with their clients. So I already know what to talk to them about. If you don't know that yet, you need to gather that information. That is top level activity, because if you don't know your market, you cannot talk to them. You cannot express their pains and their frustrations back to them. So you need to be spending at least 15 minutes a day researching or studying your target audience. And here's the really good news. You ready for this? If that sounds like, oh my God, I got to study. I'm out of school. I don't want to study no more. If that sounds hard, let me just say this, that I think will ease your mind. Did you know that in order to be considered an expert on a topic, really all you need to know is more than like 80% of the rest of the population? And do you know all you really need to do to know more than 80%? Do you realize that 80% of the population has never read more than 2 books on any one topic? All you need to do is go, yeah, but can you believe that? So if you said, hey, I want to become an expert on network marketing, I've got the prescription for you. Ready? Go buy Eric Worre's book, GoPro, read it. Because even if you're not using traditional methods, you're going to understand what that market is submersed in. Mm-hmm. Go read it now and listen to his tips, and then go read maybe Ray Higdon's new book, Go for No for Network Marketers, or some other. What was that? There's a
4-Hour Work Week.
4-Hour Work Week is good. It's not necessarily network marketer specific. So if you wanted to be network marketer specific, I would get Your First Year in Network Marketing by Yarnell, I think. So like you read those 2 books, guess what? You now have an expert level of knowledge in network marketing over 80% of the population, and you can now create content and position. Now, do you have to get out there and say, I've made tons of money in network marketing to display your knowledge about network marketing? No. Do you have to talk about how much money you've made or not made? No. In fact, do you have to pretend that you're the one who created that information? Not at all. All you have to do is say, hey, if you're a struggling network marketer just like me, I was struggling a while back, and I realized thinking in my knowledge was one of the important things I could do. And I got a tip today from a book I'm reading by Mark Yarnell called Your First Year in Network Marketing. I think will really help you out. It really opened my eyes about something. Now, you just hitched your credibility wagon onto Mark Yarnell or Eric Worre or somebody else. So quoting the people you're learning from doesn't diminish your credibility. It enhances your credibility, right? So all you have to do is write this one down. This isn't something I was planning on sharing with you tonight, but I'm just going to drop value bombs all night long for you. You ready? Write the letter S real big. And then the number 3, like S cubed, S3. This is a strategy that I've taught for ages. Mark Yarnell, by the way, is that guy's name. And I think his book is called Your First Year in Network Marketing. Yeah, you spelled it right. Yarnell, Yarnell. So S3 is something that I have done in my business. I've taught it to my students. Works like magic. Study, share, suggest. Study, share, suggest. That's how I built my entire business. I would go read a book. I would study. I would read one chapter, 15 minutes. I would go get a magazine, right? If you're in makeup, let's say your product is, you're in a makeup makeup network marketing company. I would go subscribe to Women's Health. I would spend 15 minutes reading an article that says 15 ways to make your skin glow. And I would go read a blog post on makeup tips and dangers of makeup, certain makeup or whatever. I would become the expert on makeup. And I would take what I was learning and I would say, hey guys, I was reading this article in Women's Health today. It was really amazing, had 15 tips. I just want to share 3 of them with you in this piece of content. I studied, I shared, I didn't plagiarize. I told them exactly where I got the information from. And now, this is where you make your money. The third S, this is the fun one, suggest. Now notice, it's not study, share, sell. That's not the third S. It's study, share, suggest. Because when you are the one providing content and value and information, you are now perceived as the expert. Do experts have to sell? When Oprah Winfrey did her television show, when she still had an active TV show, all she had to do was recommend a book, suggest the book, instant bestseller.
Yep.
Why? Why? Because she was the expert. And all she had to do was say, I love this book. I'm recommending it to you. I think you're going to love it as well. Why did people listen? Did she have to come up with a 15-point copyright, written letter? No. I didn't focus in the beginning of my business on trying to learn copyright. Copywriting is hard. It really is. It's a hard skill to learn. I didn't try to learn copy when I first got started. I've been learning it and I've been getting a lot better at it. But boy, when I first got started, you know all that I did? I said, hey, I learned some really great tips on X, Y, and Z. I'm going to share with them in this video. I think it'll really help you out. And I got this information from, if you're an affiliate for an information product, your suggestion is even easier. Because for me, when I was building EMP, it was I'd study a product in EMP. I'd go out and I'd say, hey guys, I was just reading this book called The Attraction Marketing Formula by a guy named Fernie Ceballos and had this great tip on how to attract customers to you. I just blew my mind. I'd love to share it with you right now. I'm going to give you a couple little tips that I think will help you. And by the way, if you like that tip and you want to grab the book, I'll put my link just below this video. All you had to be was the suggestion person, the recommender, right? Study, share, suggest. I've done over $1 million online doing that exact simple 3-step process. It's so easy. Yes. So, I don't even know what point I was on. Oh, select a target audience and understand those people. So you've got to spend time learning that audience. So what I was saying earlier was I wouldn't have to study photography market because I already know them. So depending on where you're at, if you're already an expert, I would still spend a little bit of time each day just because immersing yourself in your market will give you new content ideas. Even though I would really consider myself an expert in pretty much all things online marketing at this point, but I still go through courses, read blog posts, just because it sparks my mind. I just get new ideas, things I hadn't thought of, or I see them in a new light. I don't know if any of you out there have ever read a book and then a couple years later in fact, right now, I'm reading I'm reading not Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. Again, it's one of my favorite books. I think everybody should read it once a year. But what's interesting is I'm reading it right now. I read it, 2 years ago, I think. And I'm seeing that book through a whole new set of eyes. All because I'm in a different place, because I am a different person. The book's no different, right? But where I'm at today allows me to see things in that book because of my life experiences. So even though I would consider myself an expert in all things, I shouldn't say all things, in most things online marketing related, I still am studying every day because I see things through a new lens, I get new ideas, and I'm at a point where I would never run out of things to talk about with my audience. And that brings me to the next top level activity. So at this point, you should have 2 top level activities. Have a good product. Number 2 is select and understand your target audience. The third one, which basically bounces right off of that conversation we were just having, is content ideas and content creation. The whole attraction marketing is built on you creating good content, on you putting out value into the marketplace that attracts people to you. Now, the question I know a lot of people are asking is, well, how much content do I need to create? Do I need to do 5 pieces a week like Ray Higdon? Do I need to do 3 pieces a week? I will tell you honestly, the answer is it depends on your promotion strategy. I'll say that again. How much content you need to create. If you are planning to do paid advertising, I think 4 pieces of content a month you can get by with. You might want to do a little more in the beginning just to kind of fill your Facebook. If you don't have any content on your Facebook page, you might want to do a little bit so that when people come to your Facebook page, you look a little more credible. But once you get up and going, new piece of content once a week at the most. I've been now I like doing Facebook Lives, so I go out and I do them every day because I like doing them. It provides a sense of fulfillment and fun for me. But I could just as easily do 1 Facebook Live a week and click the boost button and pay $5 a day to get that in front of a whole bunch of new people. Because right now, every Facebook Live I do, typically only about, 1,000 to 2,000 people see it. There's hundreds of thousands, millions of people in my market who have not seen that message. Right. So if I plan to do paid advertising, $5 a day, I can literally create 1 piece of content for the week, and I could get by with more than 1 week. But I'm just saying at the most, maybe 4 pieces of content a month. Now, if you're planning to rely on free traffic strategies like search engine optimization, you're hoping that Google finds your content, ranks it on page 1, hope. If you're planning on going out and promoting your content, with good old elbow grease, I'm going to go out and find the groups and forums where people are hanging out. I'm going to post my links so that they share it. Great, fine. But just know you're going to have to create a whole lot more content, and it's going to take a lot longer. So what would you rather have? Less work and instant feedback? Or would you rather have, 5 pieces of content a week, and you're kind of shooting in the dark because you can't get any instant feedback to know whether people are responding to that message or not, because it takes so long with organic free traffic for that stuff to rank. Do it how you want. I'm just saying you got to weigh the options, okay? So content ideas and content creation, and then I would add to that as a subcategory of content creation is I think you need to have your own lead magnet. That would be one of the first things. Now, if you're an EMP, can you promote one of their lead magnets? Sure, you can until you're ready to create your own. But what is a lead magnet other than your absolute very best piece of content that you put a gate in front of it? It's nothing more than that, okay? What's a gate? A gate, I just mean, like, if I put up a Facebook Live, they can go watch it without having to ever reach out to me. A gate simply means just that. I'm going to put a gate in front of this. You cannot access this piece of content until you have reached out to me on Facebook and said, hey, I'd like to have more information, and then I can send it to them. And now they're a lead. Or they've put in their name and email address in my capture page, and now they've gotten that piece of content. So really, if you're creating content anyway, you should come up with one really, really good content idea to make your own lead magnet at some point. Now, maybe not do it right away. Create your own content to promote one of EMP. If you're promoting EMP, promote one of their lead magnets. But if you're not promoting EMP, you better make sure that you got a good lead magnet. So if your network marketing company, I'm not knocking your network marketing company, but if your network marketing company's capture page says, put in your name and email address to learn more about our product, wah, wah. Nobody wants to be on another list to learn about another product and have them sell one more thing. They want to be on a list to get their problem solved, to get information that will genuinely help them eliminate problems or reach their goals. So if the lead magnet you're currently promoting doesn't do that, you either need to find one that does or create your own, okay? So the next thing in top level is going to be selecting your media type and whatever platform you're going to use to distribute your content. So if the foundation of network marketing is, if the foundation of attraction marketing is putting out content, well, you got to know, what media am I planning to use? Are you planning to do videos? Are you going to do written blog posts? Are you going to do audio? Doesn't matter which one you choose. Personally, I like video because I think it gets people to know you a little bit better. But if you are like, dude, no way, I'm never getting in front of video camera because camera puts on 20 pounds and it looks like there's 30 cameras on me at a time when I'm on camera. If you're that person, that's a topic for another day. I'll just say this. Your videos aren't about you anyway. Your videos are about your prospects, so they really don't care what you look like. But if you're totally averse, you could do narrated PowerPoint presentations where you simply talk over your screen. Or if you just are like, I'm just not comfortable talking and I get my thoughts out better in written form, fine. Do a blog. It just, what matters is the value of the content you're providing more than the media that you choose to distribute it. The nice thing that I like personally about the fact that you do video is you do not have to have a website or a domain name to do video marketing. You can literally pull out this guy tomorrow, turn it on, and you can record a video, upload it to Facebook, and instead of having a capture page at the end of the video, you can say, hey, if you like this video and you'd like to get more information, just comment more info below and I'll be happy to reach out to you. Anybody who comments more info or likes that video is now a lead. You can reach out to them and strike up a conversation. No website, no technology other than your smartphone, no capture page, no autoresponder, nothing required. So that's one of the things I do like about video. That's not to say you can't do written content on Facebook. You can. I mean, you could do a note or a long post, but typically that works best if you put it on your blog. So, but either way, just know, okay, I'm doing video and I'm going to be uploading it to YouTube, or I'm doing video and I plan to upload it to Facebook. I plan to do Facebook Lives. I want to write blog posts and I plan to, do written articles on a blog, and I will have my blog set up by X date. I plan to record a podcast and build an audience around an audio format, and I will have my podcast set up by X date. Okay? Just doesn't matter which one you choose, pick one. Pick one and run, okay? And we're gonna go with that here in just a minute. The last two things that need to go in your top level are a promotion or traffic strategy, okay? Promotion or traffic strategy. So once I get my content up, how am I going to get people to see it? Am I going to do paid advertising on Facebook? Am I going to do paid advertising on YouTube? Am I going to run solo ads? Am I not going to do paid advertising at all? And instead, I'm going to share in forums and groups every day. Whatever, what you choose what you want to do, but you got to get just because it's out there doesn't mean people are going to find it. Okay, you got to tell people, hey, it's over here. Imagine, think of your content. I don't know, has anybody here ever been to New York City and seen those guys on the street corner in New York City who are handing out flyers for comedy clubs? My sister used to live in New York City, and every time we'd go, they'd be like, hey, comedy show tonight, right on Times Square. But the comedy club wasn't on Times Square. The comedy club was off in, Timbuktu in some back alleyway. You thought you might get stabbed after the comedy show was over, right? You would never find it if you went to go find it on your own. So what did they do? They went to where the people were, which was Times Square, and they handed out flyers and said, hey, we got this thing over here we think you might like. Go over there to get it, okay? Imagine that your content, when you first create it, unless you already have a big audience, it's over in the darkest alley in New York City that nobody has ever walked on in, 3 weeks. And the only way you're going to get anybody over there is to go to Times Square. Where's Times Square? Times Square is Google. Times Square is Facebook. There's 1 billion people on Facebook. So you're going to go where the people are, and you're going to hand out flyers. Hey, here's where my content is. Go get it. Does that analogy hold water? Does that make sense? Is everybody clear on that? Okay. And finally, the last decision I believe you need to make, and if I have missed any, please let me know that you think are top level. The last one that I believe is in top level is you need to have a closing strategy. How am I planning to close my leads? Now, if you're in a system like EMP and you're letting their system follow up, that's fine. I will tell you, you'll close more leads if you connect with them, right? You get somebody that buys Attraction Marketing Formula, if that's what you're promoting, and you actually call that person and you say, hey, I just saw that you purchased Attraction Marketing Formula. My name's John. I just wanted to see what I could do to help you out. Holy crap. How have you just set yourself apart? I guarantee you that person is way more likely to upgrade to the next level, to go VIP, and earn you a whole lot more commissions depending on what level you're at. Now, if you're in a network marketing company promoting something else, if you connect in the beginning, the more hurdles you put in place, the more steps you put in place, it's the more things you got to overcome to actually get results, which is why I tell people, yeah, video sales letters are great. Webinars are great. I love them. They should be in your everything else column. But guess what? Unless you already know how to do a webinar and you've done one and you're comfortable, speaking to an audience, and you have a complete understanding of your audience because you've been already talking to them one-on-one, setting up a webinar and doing all that stuff is just one more step that you have to take before you can make money. If you just pick up the phone, and I'll tell you this, you'll get higher closing rates if you talk to people one-on-one. If you just pick up the phone, here's the thing. The reason why most people are so afraid of the phone is because of the whole idea of cold calling. Well, cold calling sucks because you're talking to somebody, you have no idea if they have an interest or not, and you're trying to sell them. This kind of calling is fun because they just bought a product. You're only calling people who've already spent money, and you're not calling to sell them. You're calling to say, how can I help you? Hey, I just saw you bought Attraction. I saw you just took a $7 trial of Elite Marketing Pro. Love to see what questions I can answer for you and how I can help you. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're just building a relationship so that they'll go further into the funnel when EMP system takes over, or when your network marketing company's systems take over, or whatever other systems you are plugging into to use. But you need to have a closing strategy. My recommendation is reach out to people one-on-one. Either pick up the phone, private chat with them on Facebook, do what Carrie Hyam is doing. Is it Carrie and Witt?
Carrie Witt,
is that right?
Yep.
Do a video chat. Get on a video chat with them. But any kind of one-on-one communication, you're probably going to get 2 to 3 sales, like 2 to 3 either upsells, or if you're calling your leads, sales out of every 10, versus like a video sales letter. If you get 5 out of 10, you're like a 5 out of 100. If with a video sales letter, you're a rock star. So what do you want? More hurdles and less sales? Yeah, I know video sales letters are more automation and I use them, but why put more hurdles in place in the beginning when you're just getting started, if that's where you're at? Okay. Now, if you're not just getting started, great, go do webinars and video sales letters, start moving on to the everything else column. But if you're in that beginning column, call your leads, call them, pick up the phone, strike up a relationship. I guarantee you'll make more sales. All right. So that is everything in the top level column. Here they are quickly. It's having a good product to promote, selecting and understanding your targeted audience, having content ideas, and then ultimately creating content, choosing a media type for your content and a platform where you're going to distribute your content at, having a promotion or a traffic strategy to get eyeballs on your content, and then finally, how are you going to close your leads? If you just focus on those, what did I give you? 6 things? 6. It's not that many, guys. If you focus on those 6 things and you put a plan in place for the next 2 weeks to make sure that you are clear on, all right, I'm going to have 5 content ideas. Guys, you can have 5 content ideas. 2 days from now.
You can have 5 content ideas just based on the content in here.
From tonight, right. You can have 5 content ideas from we talked about tonight, yeah? So just having a direction on where you're going to go and focusing on those 6 things. Now, I'm not going to talk about the others like as long as I talked about top level, because they're not top level. Here's just a few of the things that I have put in the everything else column. Website, capture page, sales page, domain name, expensive video camera, high-tech automation, autoresponder, clever brand name, fancy graphics, pro lighting, professional pictures. Is that stuff okay to do at some point? It's okay to do, but not when you haven't done the core stuff, not when you haven't laid the foundation and framed out the house. You don't need to be hanging pictures on the walls when the house isn't built and you don't have a foundation or frames built for your house yet. Let's get the stuff built that needs to be built, okay?
That's so brilliant. So, you got to say that again. It's like you can't hang the pictures on a house that doesn't even built yet.
Exactly. So let's not worry about. I like Minnie. I think she's given. I like your name better, Minnie. Minnie said instead of the everything else column, hers is called my waste time list. Yeah, that's a good name for it. And it is a waste of time until you're ready to do it. Okay. So like I said, so are there now? Some of those things in the everything else column may eventually move over to the top level column. Or depending, like for example, let me just give you one example. If you said, my media type is going to be blogging, and I'm going to have my own blog to do that. Now, if you're an EMP and you are using their blog, now they already have a blog set up for you, so you don't have to worry about the whole technology setting up a blog. But if you do want to have your own website that you control, your own blog on your own domain, then you need to move a few of those items in the everything else column over in order to start putting content on the blog. But what I would encourage you to do is, number one, don't strive for perfection. Just get it up, get it done. You can always change it down the road. And I'm going to go on here in a minute I'm going to give you the questions to finish out this thing, and then we'll do Q&A. But before we do that, I want to play a little game with you guys that I think will put a little break into the action. It'll kind of bring your attention back if you've been wandering off at all. And I'm going to give you I'm going to make a very solid point from this little game that we're about to play. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a company name. This is the name the company got started with, but it's not their company name today. They're all companies that I guarantee you will know their names today, but I bet you don't know the name that they got started with when they first went into business. I'm going to shout a few of them out, and what I want you to do is I want you to type into the box if you happen to know what they are. I've got like 13 of them, so I'm not going to do all of them. I'm not going to wait forever for the answers, but if you happen to know it, shout it out. Does anybody know Backrub? The original name of the company, Backrub. Do you know who they are today? Shout it out if you know it. If not, I'm going to give you the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Google was once Backrub. The next one, Quantum Computer Services. Anybody know that one? That was AOL. AOL, good guess with IBM. That was a good guess, AOL. Anybody want to guess Brad's Drink? Brad's Drink. Throw a shot out. You got a 50-50 shot. Red Bull's a good guess, not Red Bull. Red Bull's a good guess. Pepsi. Pepsi was originally Brad's Drink. A lot of you might know this one. How about Blue Ribbon Sports? Does anybody know who Blue Ribbon Sports is today? Nike was Blue Ribbon Sports. Drive Yourself. Drive Yourself. Hertz. Hertz Rent-A-Car. Oh, Avis, close. Yep, it was a rent-a-car company. Auction Web. All right, this one's easy. I think you guys can get Auction Web. eBay. Good one, Minnie. Yep. Let's do just a few more. Here's another one that should be fairly easy. Pete's Super Submarines. Anybody know? Pete's Super Submarines. Good, Minnie. Subway. All right, I like this one. Stag Party. Stag Party. Good guess with Hooters. Not bad. Good. I like Minnie. She's coming up with some good ideas. Stag Party was Playboy. Playboy. Let's do 3 more. Last couple. Confinity. Confinity. Today, Confinity is PayPal. Last 2. Jerry's Guide to the World Wide Web. Jerry's Guide to the World Wide Web. Good guess. Today, that is Yahoo. Yahoo. All right, the last one. The last one I'm going to tell you a story about before I tell you what it is. So back in 1961, this particular company, which I'll tell you their name in just a minute, they got started as an electronics store. They got started under the name of Sound of Music. And they built their business for 15 years fairly successfully under the name Sound of Music. And like 15 years later, they had several stores, and one of their bigger stores got hit by a tornado. And so they had to have like a sale to get rid of all of the stuff that had been in the store, because they had to tear down, rebuild, and then restock. So they decided to have a sale out in the parking lot of all of their items. And the way they advertised that sale was they basically said, we guarantee that if you come to this sale over the next 3 or 4 days that we're holding it, we guarantee that you'll get the best buys on every electronics item that you could possibly get. Well, they looked at their numbers from that sale, and they realized by calling it the best buy sale, they got way more sales than Sound of Music ever was. And today that store is called Best Buy. So my point in telling you this story is what? Two things. Number one, would they have ever come up with the name Best Buy if they hadn't just gotten in action? No. Some of your best ideas that you will ever get come from just being in action. They actually come from disasters or failures, and you go, God, why didn't I think of that earlier? Well, the reason you didn't think of it earlier is because you weren't in momentum yet. When you just sit and you think, thinking is hard. I know that sounds like a dumb thing to say, like, thinking is hard.
It really is, though.
It's hard. Hurt my head. I got brain dead.
Yes.
But thinking is hard. It actually burns calories. And when you have to just sit down and think, all right, I'm going to come up with inspiration for my business, it's one of the most impossible things to do. But when you get in motion, all of a sudden you start getting ideas because you're in motion, because you're taking action. And that story of Best Buy is a great example of that. And so the other reason why I tell you that story is because they had been working under a business name for 15 years, and they rebranded and they moved on. But I will see people that'll spend a week, 2 weeks, a month trying to pick a damn domain name. Pick one and freaking get on with it. Yeah. They'll spend forever trying to figure out, well, who's the perfect target audience? I don't want to pick anything if it's not the best one. Pick one. Get into motion. Just get moving. If Best Buy didn't just say, all right, let's just call our business something. All right, let's be Sound of Music. That sounds good. Let's call it that, and let's just get going. And they started figuring things out along the way. I think it's Brendan Bouchard who says, here's a good quote. Well, here's a good one to write down. And speaking of content ideas, I bet several of you could create a piece of content tomorrow off of either that story I just told you or this little quote from Brendan Bouchard. You ready? Yep. Version 1.0 is infinitely better than version 0.0. So just get into motion, create something, and you will be infinitely better off than where you were if you were just sitting down, learning and thinking, okay? So I am going to very quickly give you a list of questions to finish this off. Chef, do you have anything you want to chime in with or questions that you want to ask or things you want me to clarify on? And then I'm going to read through these questions kind of quickly. Yep. In the next 5 to 10 minutes. And you probably won't get them all, but you can go back and watch the replay and just fast forward to the end and write these down, pause it and write them down as you go tomorrow or later, whatever.
No, I think the last thing I want to add for, because I know we're wrapping up, you guys were, Tyson's been dropping some, if you guys think that Tyson's been dropping some like nugget bombs, as I call them, definitely say yes, because I want to give him some love, let him know how awesome he is for dropping so much amazing information. And we've still got some good stuff going on because he's just really, I know he's given a lot to you guys today. He's given a lot of information. He shared a lot of like huge major stuff for you guys. And so I just really want to make sure that he knows how much this is appreciated and valued of his time, because he really does give. And I think it's one of the beautiful things about Tyson is he just gives because he wants you to succeed. So if you guys felt like this was awesome and amazing, just say, loved it. Thank you, sir. Just to show a little love there. And then for those of you that are joining us for maybe the first time, this is your first exposure to a Monday Mojo. You don't know what Elite Marketing Pro is. You want to learn a little bit more. You can head over to elitemarketingpro.com/mojo, and you can learn more about this system and what we have to offer. Like all Tyson talked about, we've got all the great stuff in there from your own blog, pretty much set up for you. All you got to do is kind of plug and play. We've got your lead magnets ready to go. So a lot of stuff that's ready to go for you to help you out. So that is definitely something. And there is much love coming at you, Tyson. Like, I don't know if you stopped and read at all, but they like you.
I did. My head wasn't big enough yet. I needed it to swell just a little bit more.
Yeah, they like you. They really like you.
I have double doors behind me, so I'm going to open them up so my swollen head can fit through when this is over. I won't be able to use the door on the other side of the room because it's just a standard size door.
Your poor wife, man. Whew.
I know. Rough, right? So she's going to have to deal with my ego a little bit later whenever I get over there. So, all right. Well, thank you for the love, guys. Yeah. It's very nice of you. I appreciate it.
So questions?
Yes, action more than research. That's good, James. Action more than research. I mean, yes, spend 15 minutes researching your audience. That's important. But then go do something with it.
Yep.
Right? Write down a content idea. Okay. All right.
Go.
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and whip through these fairly quickly. The one thing I want you to really notice about the statements because most of these statements are statements using the formula I gave you earlier. I will accomplish X by Y. I will accomplish this task by this date. So the one thing I want to clarify with this, because you're welcome to add more to this that fit with where you are in your business, because I don't have to write these sentences anymore. I write new sentences because I'm in a different place in my business, right? It's, I will hire a customer support manager by X date, or I will get a new VSL recorded by X date. I'll put retargeting campaigns in place. So I'm at a different place in my business than you are. If you're in a different place, then I've created this list for the very overwhelmed beginner to give you just the 6 areas that you need to focus on. If you've already got a lot of those done, then great, add to this list. But here's the main tip I want to give you. Make the statements activities that it's you control. Don't make them results. It shouldn't say, I will have 5 people signed up in my team by next Friday, because you can't control what other people do. You can only control your activity that produces those results. So I'm losing weight right now. I go to the gym every day. I have goals where I say, I'd like to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month. That's a benchmark that I say, I'd like to hit that, but that's not my activity statement. These are, what am I going to do on a daily basis to do that? I will prepare my meals on Sunday night for the week, and I'll get that done by Sunday at X time. I will go to the gym at 9 o'clock on Monday morning. I will eat at this time, right? Those are things I can control. I can't control whether the weight falls off or not. I can only control the activities that I do to ensure that eventually the result is going to come. So make sure that everything you write down, if you add to this list, you make it about activities that you control, not about results that are dependent upon other people's decisions. Is that clear? Okay. If so, here we go. I will have a target audience selected by blank. Okay. Most of you can have target audience picked in the next 48 hours. Okay. Just what are you passionate about? Who do you want to work with? Pick something. Okay. I will dedicate X minutes a day to researching and studying my target audience. Personally, I don't think you need more than 15 minutes a day. If you read a chapter a day in a book, you're going to get there. If you go read a blog a day, you study, one module inside of a course that you're studying, whatever. Okay. But how many minutes a day will you, I will dedicate 15 minutes a day to researching and studying my target audience. Okay. Next, I will write down, listen to this one carefully. I will write down all potential content ideas, and I will not prejudge them or overthink them at the time of writing them down. And I will write them down using fill in the blank with whatever note-taking software. If you're a pen and paper kind of person, if you carry a notepad with you, great. But you need to, I do mine in Evernote. I do all of mine on this little device because I always have it with me, right? And I frequently get ideas for content while I'm driving in my car or when I'm at the gym on the treadmill or when I'm in the shower. And so I'll have to, as soon as I get out of the shower, I got to grab my phone and I dictate into it my idea. And that way I've got it for later. I don't prejudge the idea. Like, you know, the other night, Rachel and I were watching a movie, thing happened, and I was like, oh, that might make a good piece of content. That was interesting. I wrote it down. I didn't worry about how I was going to use it later. While I'm reading right now, I told you I've been reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. I get ideas practically every page of that book. So I'm pulling out Evernote going, ooh, that's a good email. Ooh, that's a good Facebook Live. Ooh, what a great story. Okay. I'm getting ideas because I'm immersed in my market. So I don't worry about when I'm going to implement those ideas necessarily. I just write them down every time I get them. So how are you going to capture all of your content ideas? Are you going to do it with Evernote? Is it going to be a notepad? Voice memos, however you're going to do it, just know and plan on writing those down on a daily basis. I will have X pieces of content created by Y date. Okay. I will have 5 pieces of content created by the end of next week or whatever, right? I will put out at least X pieces of content per week on this media channel. So the way that would read is I will put out at least 1 piece of content a week on my blog. I will put out at least 3 Facebook Lives a week on Facebook, or I'll put out 3 pieces of content a week on Facebook Live. I will put out at least X number of pieces of content a week on this media channel. Next one, I will have my first, if you have not done a piece of content yet, I will have my first piece of content created by blank. Now add this, and I will not overthink it or strive for perfection. You might even want to add this. I recognize it will probably suck. I recognize the first piece of content I do will probably be really bad. But the only way for me to get better is for me to be bad first, so I can then become good, so I can then become great. Okay? So that sentence is, I will have my first piece of content created by blank, and I will not overthink it or strive for perfection. Next, I will promote my content using fill in the blank. What is your promotion strategy? I will promote my content using paid traffic, particularly with Facebook ads, particularly with solo ads, particularly with YouTube, whatever. I will promote my content using search engine optimization. I will promote my content using social sharing in groups and forums, whatever, right? I will have at least 1 free giveaway, AKA a lead magnet created by fill in the blank. When would you like to have your own, how many pieces of content do you think you need to create? Maybe 10 before you can say, okay, I've got 1 piece of content there that's really good. I'm now going to take that away and turn it into a gated piece of content that I give away in exchange for someone's name and email address. Okay? When are you going to do that? Next. Now this is where we put the focus in place. My dedicated work hours are from blank to blank on these days. Fill in the blank. If you don't have dedicated work hours for your business, you have a hobby. You don't have a business. My dedicated work hours are from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. every afternoon on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On every weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. And let me give you a pro tip. You ready? Eliminate all distractions during those dedicated hours. Turn off your phone. Turn off your email. No one can contact you during that time. No interruptions, because interruptions don't take a moment. They take your focus away, and then it takes forever for you to get back into the groove, for you to get back into momentum again. Once momentum is going and it's stopped, it's very hard to get going again. So no distractions. If you do that, you will get 4 times more done in the average in an hour than what most people do, because they have this little distraction machine sitting next to them going zzz, zzz, zzz. And every time it does it, you go, ooh. Hey, wait. Ooh, look at me.
There's a cat.
Like, oh, I got to look at my phone. I got to look down and see who's texting me. Nope. Those are your dedicated work hours. 2 hours, set it aside. Okay? If you have a toddler, I would recommend try to get if you can. I mean, obviously you got to do what works with your situation, but if you have a spouse or a partner that can watch them during, look, like I told my wife when I was building my business, look, honey, there are going to be nights when you're going to have to put the kids to bed without me. Okay. I'm doing this for us. There are going to be nights where I would love to sit down and watch a movie, but I'm doing this for us. These are my dedicated work hours. And she understood that's what was going to happen. And so if you have a partner who can help you out, or if you can get a babysitter or whatever, right? You just need to figure out what can I do to try and get, even if it's just 1 hour of dedicated work time where I have no interruption, so I can be incredibly productive for just that 1 hour or those 2 hours. Finally, the last 2 sentences. I will close my leads by using fill in the blank. How are you going to close your leads? Phone, private chat, video chat, webinar, sales letters, video sales letters. What method are you planning to use? And finally, it's not even really a second sentence. It's really an extension of that sentence. I will close my leads into sales by this day, or using this strategy. And by X date, I will be showing my presentation to X prospects a day. That's an activity you can control. You can control how many prospects you reach out to and show your presentation to a day. You can't control how many of them show up. So we did not say, I will sign up 3 a day. We simply said, by the 15th of this month, I will be showing 5 prospects a day my presentation. Okay. And I will be using this closing strategy to attempt to close them. Okay. That's it. Is that helpful? Does anybody feel like they have more clarity than they did 90 minutes ago before you showed up?
Yes. This is the most nugget-filled Mojo I've ever heard.
Well, yeah, that's what I do. Nuggets.
He is. He's a nugget bomber.
Nugget bomber.
Yep. He just goes around and goes, poof, poof. You're like, oh, man. People are talking about how their hand is tired. You got nugget bombs all over. I mean, you're right to get you like a candy bar, just like a nuggets. And just have you like with those things you can throw them from stage. They'll be part of your no excuses thing.
I'll have to put it on my schedule for when I can eat it though.
No. They're nuggets that you're gonna throw out during your conversation.
Oh, gotcha.
Excuses.
Gotcha.
We're gonna.
I don't get to eat them.
No, you can throw them at the audience.
Got it.
You're like, this is a nugget here.
Nugget bomber. I like that. Okay. This will be. Now I have to rebrand. So no longer Tyson's Honor. Successwithtyson.com. Forget that. Now it's nuggetbomber.com. I got to go buy that domain right now. Oh crap.
There's a whole
somebody snatches it up.
There's distractions all over the place.
Oh, funny.
This video should be the last video in Ignition. Oh, yeah. Oh, my
awesome.
gosh.
Well, I'm glad you guys got value. I'm happy to stick around a few minutes, answer any questions you guys have, or answer any questions that Chef's got, or whatever. But my goal tonight was just to really just give you guys clarity, give you direction, and give you a game plan. Because without a game plan, without activity, without focus, you have overwhelm. Once you write down those sentences and you just set aside time to do them, the overwhelm, I promise, it'll melt away. It's going to be gone.
Actions. It's the only thing that will put you into business.
Truth.
Yep.
Truth bomb.
Yeah.
You can be a truth bomber. I'll be nugget bomb.
Yes, truth bomb. When will this video be up? So as soon as this video ends, it actually goes into the replay section here on our Fire Talk. So you guys can come back in here. I think in the next few minutes or so, it should be all uploaded and ready to go. And you guys can actually watch the replay right here on Fire Talk. That's the beauty of this platform.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Try to keep it easy and simple.
I like it. Yeah, this is a cool platform. I've not, other than the other Hangout, Mojo, other than the Mojo we did, I like to use the Spanish pronunciation. Yeah. The Monday Night Mojo.
It's a Mojo. Is it Chantel? I really need help making the connection to add value to my Facebook page, traditional network marketer, but the email approach using it online. I'm a little confused about this.
What can you clarify what the confusion is, Chantel? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
Is it Chantel?
Are you saying?
I think it is Chantel. You're good.
Are you saying that you want to market to traditional network marketers, but you think that there's a disconnect because you would be doing it online? Is that what you're saying? Help me understand if, okay, I got it right. So, okay. So not everybody here has to necessarily promote EMP's stuff.
Right.
You can, right? You can absolutely promote their stuff as an income stream. And if you want to help, so you have a couple of different options. You can promote to traditional network marketers who are frustrated with the traditional way of building, and there's a lot of them out there. And you can say, hey, would you like a different way? And then you can say, here's some tips on how you could do it differently. Here's some tips on how you can get people reaching out to you. And then you can funnel them into one of Fernie's products, Attraction Marketing Formula, and bring them into the EMP system. If what you're saying is instead, no, I really like the traditional ways, it jives with my personality, and I want to help people. I like prospecting, and I like teaching prospecting. Great, nothing wrong with that. Look at what Ray Higdon does. Ray Higdon uses attraction strategies to teach traditional strategies. Nothing wrong with that. He teaches, hey, here's how to follow up with your leads, and here's what you should do when you call a lead back on the phone. Hey, what should you do when you call a lead and they don't answer? Here's what you should say. He creates videos online to teach traditional strategies. Eric Worre does the exact same thing. He's using online strategies to teach traditional networkers traditional strategies. So there's no disconnect whatsoever. All you're doing is saying, I'm using Facebook and maybe Facebook Lives or posts on my Facebook page to deliver the information on how to build a network marketing business traditionally. I've seen Facebook Lives on inviting, all the traditional stuff, but people won't use this if they're going to prospect online. I don't know if it's a matter of they won't use it. I think it's people will use the methods that fit their personalities. People will do, there are some people in my last network marketing company that I was in, there were some people that were building like crazy using traditional methods, and they loved it. They loved the home parties. They were like these socialites, and they loved doing lunch meetings. Good. I will never knock that. If it fits your personality, go for it. So I don't think it's a matter of saying people won't ever do it. It's you're giving people options. You're saying, look, here's one way that you can invite people to a presentation. One way would be calling them up on the phone or striking up conversations in the grocery store. Hey, would you like a simple 3-step formula for talking to somebody in the grocery store without making it weird? Well, in this Facebook video, I'm going to show you exactly what you can say in the grocery store line to get more prospects interested in seeing your presentation. That's an example of how you could provide value on your Facebook page about a traditional strategy. Or you could say, hey, would you like to know how to get people interested in your presentation by doing simple Facebook Lives or by posting, simple little ads on Facebook or whatever, right? So those are, I personally, I think you're overthinking it, Chantel. I hope that those examples gave you some help. But that's the advice I would give you.
Yeah, and so it's okay for you to train on traditional topics and still promote attraction marketing formula. That will never stop.
Ever. I think the way that here's how you do it, Chantel. What you do, take the example I just gave you a second ago, where I said, let's say you were teaching people a 3-step formula to strike up conversations with people in the grocery store checkout line, fast and easy, and get them interested in your product or your opportunity. So you could say, hey guys, hey, my name's Chantel. I'm going to give you guys some tips to help you with your prospecting. If you enjoy talking to people at the mall or enjoy talking to people at the grocery store. Now, I know some of you guys out there may not enjoy those strategies. If you do, I've got another alternative for you. I'll put a link below this video with ways that you can attract people online. But for those of you who do enjoy talking to people and you're kind of extroverted and you like talking to people at the grocery store, I think these 3 tips will really help you. And then at the end, you just say, hey, if these strategies don't fit you or you don't want to do them forever, I did a video a while back where I kind of did something similar to that, where I basically said, hey, if you want fast results, you should probably be reaching out to people actively and prospecting. But if you don't want to do it forever, you should also be building this parallel path where you are building marketing materials so that you eventually have people reaching out to you.
Yep.
So I basically taught some traditional prospecting things. And I said, if you don't want to do it forever, you could go over here and grab this training that'll teach you how to generate leads online so that you can also be attracting people so you don't have to prospect forever. That's just two different ways that you can angle it or position it.
Yep, she said she got it totally. She goes, that's perfectly.
Awesome.
Sorry, thanks for the clarity. Really
that's okay. I don't have to apologize for needing clarity. That's what we're here for.
And I think the last question that came up was like, people start promoting their network marketing business on their Facebook page, and then all of a sudden they transition to talking about like Elite Marketing Pro, and their whole line goes, wait, are you now promoting Elite Marketing Pro? What happened to your network marketing company? Right. So it's like, how do you smoothly transition, from being somebody that talks all about product to somebody that kind of starts talking more about the traction marketing method? I think that's what they're looking for. And there's a couple ways to address that, and I'll let Tyson tackle this one if you so feel it.
Yeah. So, that's a good question. And it comes down to a couple of things. First of all, if you already have a Facebook page with a following of people that know you for one thing, and that Facebook page has already been branded as I teach people how to X, Y, and Z, or I teach people how to solve this problem.
Or
then what?
Or
go ahead.
All I talk about is my network marketing product.
Right. So if all you've ever done is talk directly about your network marketing product, I guess if that works for you, I have seen very few people that actually works for. You and here's a good example of that. What I have seen, like people in makeup, right? I used makeup earlier, but I'll use makeup again. And they'll get on and they'll do these Facebook Lives where they're constantly doing demos, applying the makeup, showing, how they apply the makeup, which is kind of valuable. But if they also did something like, three tips to make your skin glow so you can get carded in your 30s, and here's 5 tips to reduce your wrinkle lines for women women in their 40s. Those are going to be tips that brand you as the skincare expert, not the I promote XYZ makeup, okay? When all you do is make videos that here's my makeup product, what you're doing is you're pigeonholing yourself to say, it's very hard for me now to talk about anything else. So if you want to transition, you can transition right on your page as long as there's some level of a connection. This is why a lot of big names, their whole brand is themselves. Randy Gage, Susan Sly, because Susan Sly, her brand is just, I'm Susan Sly, right? And people know her as, all right, she helps people with health, weight loss tips, and getting more energized, but she also helps people with business. So she kind of has this duality with her brand where people know her both for empowering women, both with business tips, but also empowering women to feel better and have more energy. And so she's able to do both of those. Typically, what I recommend to people is just kind of become known for the person who helps people solve this problem. For example, look, you go to my Facebook page, it's, Tyson Zahner, helping small business owners and entrepreneurs to create more leverage and automation in their business by using the internet. That's what I'm known for. If I went online tomorrow and I started, now that gives me this whole big umbrella of things I can talk about, right? I can talk about, Facebook advertising. I can talk about creating videos. I can talk about overcoming objections, creating webinars. I mean, I have a whole umbrella of topics under that because I haven't just pigeonholed myself to, I'm the EMP guy. Even though I was their #1 income earner for 2 years running, I have never been the EMP guy. I've always been Tyson Zahner, the guy who helps small business owners and entrepreneurs to create more leads, generate more sales, create more automation, and more leverage in their business so they can have more freedom. So that needs to be your business definition. I help here's another template, write this down. I help this group of people solve this problem so they can achieve this benefit or change in their life. Fill in those blanks.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you have a clear definition, not only of who your audience is, but what your brand is, what people will know you for, what your superpower is. And so I guess the answer to the original question of what do I do if I've already built this fan page? Well, if you already have an audience of people and it's a fairly sizable audience that already knows you for one topic, then I just keep that. I still have a Tyson Zahner photography page out on Facebook. I have 4,000 people who follow me locally on my photography page because that's a local business, totally separate from what I do here. I didn't say, okay, I have these 4,000 people. I'm now going to try and siphon them over to learning how to market online. That would make no sense. Those people like me because they were interested in my photography, not because they were interested in learning how to build a business online. That is a total disconnect. Wouldn't make any sense. So I just started a brand new Facebook page. I started from ground zero. Now, if I didn't have much of a following and I wanted to, I'd still probably restart the page just so I could call it what I wanted and, get a fresh start, but do what you want. That's my 2 cents.
Yep. There you go. That was a simple, long answer.
It was. You're right. Simple, long answers. I give a lot of them.
Simple but long answer. We're good. All right. So, Tyson, I just want to be respectful of the time. We are on about an hour and 45 minutes. And I know you've got lots going on. And I know our audience is definitely loving this. But we could go on for hours. Yeah. I mean, we can. We could listen to you all night long. And I have to respect your time because I know you're super uber busy. And you've been just a huge, huge contribution to this community and everything today. And we get to see you at No Excuses in June.
Yep.
Oh,
excited.
My gosh. I can't. What are you talking about in June? No, wait, don't tell me.
I haven't decided yet.
Oh.
I haven't decided. I think I'm going to talk. No, I'm not going to say yet because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up.
Okay.
But it's
going to be awesome.
If you like tonight, I would love to, and you want to hear me at No Excuses, I'd love to meet you personally. Yep. Come up, say hello. Don't be a stranger. Don't, come up, say hi. Let's get a picture together, and that'd be cool. I'd love to meet every single one of you guys at No Excuses. So if you're going to be in Vegas here in a month in June, if you're on the fence about it, I will tell you it will be life changing.
Yes,
it will. If this gave you clarity, like you're going to now have. You're going to go to No Excuses, and it's just going to supercharge the clarity that you have tonight. So can't wait to meet a lot of you guys there in Vegas.
Yeah, No Excuses totally is. I have seen more businesses change. I've seen more people take their business to the next level after attending that event than I think any other event I've ever seen. Period.
Yeah, it's for real. It's not for everybody.
Yep.
That's why it's called No Excuses. So if you're going to make excuses, you're going to give up on yourself. Then don't go. Don't waste your time. But if you're dedicated.
Yeah. So the question is No Excuses always in Vegas? I would like to say yes, it is. We left for 1 year, but we'll be coming back and it will be our home base. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And there's more things to come around No Excuses in the future. It may just go international.
Teresa, I would love nothing better. I would love nothing better than Teresa or anybody else on this hangout tonight to come up in the next month to get results in the next month. Whether it's a small result, I generated my first lead online because I finally got clarity and I took action and I had a game plan from that Monday Mojo on May the 8th.
May 8th.
Yeah. So I would love nothing more than for you to come up to me at No Excuses and tell me, here's the results I got from that training. And there is no reason you can't get results in the next 30 days before No Excuses. No reason. What I gave you tonight, if you go out and you create 3 pieces of content a week and you do a Facebook Live 3 times a week consistently and you have a good giveaway, you'll get results. I know you will. I have no doubt in my mind. All right?
Yep.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. May 8th is the game changer. Big Kurt, they are recording the No Excuses live event this year. So yeah, that's going to be something you can get through. If you go to the elitemarketingpro.com/NES, I believe there is an option to do it there. or there'll be an option during the No Excuses event. So stay tuned and watch our page for that one for sure.
Cool.
All right. With that, guys, I'm going to say, Tyson, thank you again for this amazing training. Always love having you on. It's an absolute pleasure. Guys, if you love Tyson, go to Facebook, go out and post out there. Say you find the post inside of our Facebook group, share some love, let Tyson know that you guys got some good stuff out of this one. Definitely appreciate it. With that, Tyson, any last words?
My pleasure. Hey, go out there and rock it, guys. Go out and rock it. I believe in you, and I can't wait to meet you at No Excuses and hear your success stories.
Awesome. All right, guys, with that, have a good night. See you guys.
See ya. Good night.
Bye.